Okay, so now we have uh, got it set up with property lines and stuff like that. Our next step is to put in just a massing of the building. I'm going to make the assumption that the building is, say, 30,000 square feet, uh, and that I want it to be about 200 by 150. Okay, so 200 one axis, 150 on the other axis. And so I'm just going to throw in that mass right now. So I'm just going to go into massing, in place mass, okay? And I'm not going to really worry where it is, and then I'm going to move it around once I get it there. So masses are not turned on, so I'm going to turn on masses. Um, and then let's call this, you know, uh, concept mass 01. And so I'm going to throw that mass in, just a rectangle. In this case, I'm going to make it parallel, okay, to the property line. Okay, it's not true north or in south, but it's 1.47 degrees off of true north and south. So I'm going to do that, um, and then I'm just going to select that. So let's select that, and then we will go create a form. Okay, and now we have a basic mass in there that represents the building. It was probably set on level 0 or level 1, which is 0. We can go into a 3D view here. Let's go into a 3D view. Oops. Um, and so we'll see there's our building. It's being cut kind of into the side of the slope. Uh, let's zip around here. Okay, so there's our building right now as it appears. Um, we could play with this, of course, decide, do I really want it to face true south maybe, uh, instead of parallel with this road? Do I actually want it to be true south? Or, for instance, and I'm going to finish the mass. I'm going to select this and I'm going to rotate it, and in this case, what I'm going to do is I'm going to rotate that so that the building is, in a sense, running parallel. Okay. Now, once I've done that, this is going to make it much more. So it's east of south, not true south. Okay. This is not true north. It's west of north, right? And but let's say that I decide, well, that's the direction I want to be. In that case, if I'm modeling to this, that's going to make it much more difficult to go into more detail. What I'd like to, is for my project north, okay, my project north to be actually parallel to that object, okay? And so what I'm going to do is change project north. So I'm going to back in here. Project north right now is set to, as I said before, the property line. We moved it. Now I'm going to go in and manage and reset project north, align, and I'm going to select that edge, okay? And it's going to take a few seconds. Fortunately, my model's not too big yet, okay? And so it's going to rotate uh, the whole site. For some reason, it didn't rotate the mass. I don't know why. Interesting. Okay, it should have rotated everything, I thought. But what we will do is go here. Uh, well, let's here. Let's rotate this back parallel to this. So I'm going to do rotate, and then I'm going to grab this and snap it to the corner, uh, and then I'm going to rotate it some more. And actually, what I'd like for it to be is parallel to that other. So the easiest thing for me to do would be just to redraw it. Okay, since I don't have much investment in that, I could rotate it. I don't know why it didn't rotate that mouse with it. but it didn't. So I'm just going to go back in here, do another in-place mass. We'll call this concept 01. And then since I'm now parallel to that direction, I'm going to come in here, I'm going to modify this. Oh, let's do this. Let's get this the right dimension. So this should be 200, I think we agreed. And this should be 150. And it's barely gonna fit on our site, but I think we can make it fit. Okay. Uh, so I'm gonna select that and move it a little bit. Modify. Uh, let's go ahead and finish the mass. Oh, I forgot to extrude it. Let's undo that. Go back and select the whole thing. Go in, create a form, create a solid, and then I'll finish that now. So I got that made. Let's move it now. I'm going to move it here. And we will assume that we can go right up to the edge of the property line. We probably can't, but anyway, so we would need to change the shape. But now I have a mass. If we go back into the south elevation, we're going to see that that mass is right there. Okay, and so it's cut into the side. Then we have to decide, do we want, let's do this. Whoops, that is, let's do this. Let's expand that elevation. Okay, and of course that's way too tall. We can set a level in if we want to and determine the height, or we can go back to 3D and we can edit in place. Select this surface here, and let's say that we wanted the height of the building to be 25 feet. So I can set that to 25 feet. So there's 25 feet. Uh, we probably also don't want it to be, right buried. Or we maybe we're doing an earth sheltered building. It just depends on the concept, right? So I'm going to finish that mass. The next thing I would probably do is set in a building pad like we did these other two buildings over here. Okay. Once again, notice where are those two buildings? Oh, there they are. Oh, they didn't get rotated either. Okay. So we may have to move those back into place and rotate them into shape. But maybe I should have selected them when I did the true north. But anyway, so let's go back to our site with no image. And once again, so as we're designing now, since we changed project north right here to this direction, now as we draw other things that are related to this that have to be 90 degrees or whatever. And so once again, I'll do some investigation and figure out, well, why these didn't rotate with the whole site and everything. But let's put in a building pad real quick. Message, building pad. Where is building pad? Right there. And we'll just snap to here. Okay. We'll go ahead and tie the building pad to the mass, so that if we change the mass shape or size, the building pad will change with it, right? That's one of the nice things about making links between objects in Revit. So the building pad, these are the specifications for it. It's going to be a foot deep. It's going to start at level 1, which is where this is right now. Of course, we can move all that later. So let's go ahead and do that. And then let's take a look from the south elevation. Now, once again, we set these elevation markers up based on the property lines and parallel to the property lines. These really now aren't the north, south, and east elevations, so we may want to come back in. I would probably come back in and you know maybe keep these, but rename them so that they're not north, south, east, and west, or their property, P east, P north, P south, or whatever, and then the building, set up a series of north, south, and east and west elevations for the building. Uh, let's take a look at then the south elevation here. Okay, and there it is. Okay, I'm not sure where that building pad is. Where's level 1? Oh, there it is. So the building pad should be somewhere. For some reason I can't see it. That's the topography. One thing I could do real quickly is hide the topography, and that'll enable me to see. There's the building pad. Tab. That's a topo surface. Yeah, I'm sorry, I can't seem to get. Let's do a section in here then. So I'm going to draw a section right through there. So let's do a section cut. Once again, the advantage of having a three-dimensional model. View, section, building section, edit, and then let's okay, and let's take a look at that. I would come back in and name that. Okay, so there's the building section right there. The pad, oh, there it is. Okay, so there's our pad. We can decide, do we want it to go up to 25 feet or whatever. We could offset it or change the level. There's 2 or 3 more levels in there. I would probably establish a level that I wanted it to and set this to the level. Okay, I think we established a 25-foot or whatever. This is a 20-foot level here. And then let's do the same thing with this mass. Let's move it then from here to the top of that pad. Okay, and let's see what this does, how this changes what we're looking at. So let's go back into our 3D. Okay, and so now we have this sitting up on some kind of foundation or something like that. We could put retaining walls in there or whatever we might do. Right. So now it may be taller than I really want it to be since these are at a higher, but you get the idea. Okay. So that's done. And now we're ready to set up some views and print those views out. Uh, I'll move these and correct them, make sure they're in the right location in the next video.